What is a rhyme scheme? How do we work it out? When is it important? And crucially, when should we ignore it? In this video, I'll be teaching you all of that with examples from the Power and Conflict poetry cluster, but I'll be teaching you the skills so you can apply them to unseen poetry too. A rhyme scheme is the pattern of rhymes at the end of each line in a poem. To work out a rhyme scheme, we look at the last word in each line and think about the sound it creates. Let's look at an example using the poem Ozymandias. So what we do is we start at line 1. And we always label that A because it's the beginning of the alphabet, the first letter in the alphabet. So we start with A. And we ask ourselves, what is the final word in the line and the sound it creates? In this case, land. Then we move on to the next line. We look at the final word in the line and we ask ourselves, what is the sound it creates? And it is, in this case, stone. Then we ask ourselves, does that rhyme with any previous words at the ends of lines? So does stone rhyme with land? No. So then we label this line B. So what we're doing is we're going on in our letters in the alphabet unless lines rhyme with previous lines. Line 3 ends with sand, and of course that rhymes with land, which was an A, so we label sand, label line 3 an A. Now line 4 is an interesting one, frown. Now that is not a perfect rhyme with stone, but it is close enough to label B. So we've got frown and stone. We call this imperfect rhyme or half rhyme, and we label it B. Why? Because they both end in the same consonant, the sound, the N sound, but the vowel sounds are not identical. We've got the O in stone and the ow in frown, and as I said, that's imperfect or half rhyme. So if we work through the poem, the rhyme scheme that we end up with, we've got command, that rhymes with land and sand, so that's another A. And we just work our way through. We've got red. Now red doesn't rhyme with anything we've had before, so that goes on to the next letter of the alphabet, C. And then we've got things. That doesn't rhyme with anything else, so that becomes D. But fed rhymes with red, which was a C, so that's also a C. And on it goes. Appear, that doesn't rhyme with anything, so that becomes E. And then what have we got? We've got kings, and we ask ourselves, does kings rhyme with anything? Well, it rhymes with this, doesn't it? The D. So on it goes, and we basically work our way through. Appear and despair, again, a close enough half rhyme, so that's another E. And then we've got decay, which is an F, and then we've got bear, which rhymes with despair and appear, so that's an E, and then we've got away, which is an F. And there's the rhyme scheme. Now, you could ask yourself, well, I've just got this jumble of letters. Does it actually mean anything? What difference does this make? And here's where I think things get really interesting. A number of past exam reports have pointed out that students rarely write anything meaningful about rhyme schemes and will often identify them but not have any analytical points to make about them. So what do we do? The best advice I can give is this. When you have assessed the meaning of the poem, the theme or the message, you can then ask yourself if the rhyme scheme is connected to that. So Ozymandias is a poem about the transitory nature of power. How power changes over time. Ozymandias, when the statue was made, felt he was all-powerful, but by the time the poem ends, his power has disappeared. Now, is the rhyme scheme of this poem relevant to that? Yes, it is. You see, Ozymandias is a sonnet, but not one we've ever seen before, specifically because of the rhyme scheme. What do you know about sonnets? A Petrarchan or Italian sonnet has 14 lines. The first 8, known as the octave, present a problem. The last 6, known as the sestet, present a solution to that problem. In line 9, we have a volta, a sharp twist or turn, and the octave, the first 8 lines, always has an ABBA, ABBA rhyme scheme, and the rhyme scheme of the sestet can vary. Now then we have the Shakespearean sonnet. In the 16th century, the sonnet made its way into English poetry. Sir Philip Sidney developed it, but it became known as the Shakespearean sonnet because Shakespeare wrote so many famous examples. And the form of the Shakespearean sonnet is quite different to the form of the Petrarchan sonnet. It's written in iambic pentameter, that's lines of 10 syllables with alternating stressed and unstressed syllables. It's divided into 3 stanzas of 4 lines each, known as quatrains, and finished with a rhyming couplet which also serves as the volta. And the rhyme scheme is also different to the Petrarchan sonnet. It runs A-B-A-B, C-D-C-D, E-F-E-F, G-G. But when we look at Ozymandias, we have to ask ourselves, what does this do in terms of the rhyme scheme? Now, many see elements of the Petrarchan sonnet in Ozymandias. There are 14 lines, structured as a group of 8 lines, the octave, which focus on the statue, and 6 lines, the sestet, which centre on the pedestal and the poem's wider message about power. However, the opening rhyme scheme, A-B-A-B, fits the Shakespearean sonnet model, not the Petrarchan model. But it doesn't stop there. The continuing rhyme scheme doesn't follow either sonnet form, but is doing something completely new. So whether you would choose to say that the sonnet moves from a Petrarchan to a Shakespearean to a new form of sonnet, or would write that more simply by saying that the poem is a sonnet, but one which is continually adapting and changing, lacking consistency in the rhyme scheme, with that initial rhyme scheme being replaced with something new, the question is why? Well, remember what I said about the poem. Power is transitory, it doesn't last forever, it changes over time. And in the poem, the rhyme scheme is transitory, it changes over time as the poem progresses. So this is a really clever point that we might want to bring into an answer. So the point is this: when you've come up with your idea or thesis for the question, you can ask yourself, is the rhyme scheme connected to this? And if it is, you might want to write about it, but if it's not, you definitely don't want to write about it. Let's look at another poem that has an important rhyme scheme. In Wilfred Owen's Exposure, the futility of war is shown through the way in which everything is very tense, but ultimately anticlimactic. The rhyme scheme then, let's have a look at it. So we have us, we're going to label A, silent is B, salient is B, remember what I talked about before, nervous is A, but then we have this final rhyme, happens, and this is a C. And this pattern is one that we see throughout all of the poem. Now, why is that important? Well, the rhyme scheme reflects the building momentum and anticipation of battle, which is never realised. There's an anticlimactic, jarring ending in this rhyme scheme of each stanza, which reflects the anticlimactic nature of war. So that's just 2 poems. What I'd like you to do in the comments section, have a look through the other poems in the cluster and put your ideas in the comments section. And sometimes you will find a rhyme scheme, but you won't be able to link it to the theme or wider message of the poem. And in that case, we want to ignore it completely. We only want to bring in points into our answer if they're relevant to our analysis, if they're relevant to our thesis, our line of argument, our concept. And you can see more on that in my video on Paper 2, Section B. So this idea of having an overarching thesis that you're going to explore in your answer is so important. If you found this video useful and this new series useful, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.